Hey there, gorgeous. How are you doing this fine afternoon? Welcome to this month's issue of the Indie Reviewer, the semi-monthly paper, where we take a quick look at an indie game I found positively lovely, or vaguely traumatizing in this case. If you allow it, I'd like to take you on an adventure into the forbidden depths of the game Mortal Sin. This stylized dungeon-crawling horror roguelike is beautifully crafted and horrifyingly realized. Mortal Sin was developed by one madman named Nikola Todorovic, which I hopefully said correctly. And this game is just so fucking sick. You battle through dungeons, forests, and other occult locations at boomer shooter speeds, wielding numerous kinds of melee weaponry. Combat allows for a simple combo system involving your basic attack, a kick for stunning, a thrust, as well as a whirlwind attack that takes some time to charge but does delicious amounts of damage in a large circle around you, and it just feels really cool too. While just button mashing will get you far in this game at first, it clearly expects you to be using that time to experiment with those combos so you don't get eviscerated down the road. Because this game can seriously throw a lot at you down the line. From dual-wielding two berserk-esque blades to kicking demons in their stupid faces, Mortal Sin has an incredible amount of player choice, replayability, and most importantly, variety. There are 14 classes to choose from, each having their own weapon pools and restrictions, as well as abilities that pertain to each class, as well as those class abilities being available to pick up throughout the game at these little in-between spots that you can stop at, allowing you to essentially multi-class. Higher rarity weaponry and armor pieces also have different abilities and perks that are activated through different restrictions, and those kinds of things. Abilities can range from a magical paladin-esque shield that protects you while you use the whirlwind ability to one that does a powerful blast, but costs more of that weapon's durability in the process. Although, quick sidebar, this does bring me to my first slight complaint with Mortal Sin, and that's with its stat system. Different classes, weapons, and armor all have different stats that they excel in, from luck that improves your chances for rare weapons, as well as strength that makes you hit things better and harder. Now, the game gives a solid number for this, but it doesn't explain what the number signifies. 10 strength could mean 10% more damage, or even perhaps 10 extra damage on top of your normal hits. You don't know. This leads to you just deciding which weapon or armor has the better number rather than making a more informed decision, which is a shame. But back to glazing this fantastic game. Now let's talk about my personal favorite class so far, which is the Monk. It allows me to disregard the excellent choice of weaponry in favor of my meaty fists of death. Yeah, that is a sentence that I wrote into the script, and so was that one that I just said. Feel a little matrixy. When playing the Monk, the strategy becomes more about finding the right abilities to help bolster your upfront and personal attack style, like the Body Slam ability, which, when unlocked, it allows you to, well, body slam. It's pretty self-explanatory, but damn does it feel good to combo those demons into oblivion. As you progress, you also unlock pieces of armor and abilities that massively affect how you approach combat. To keep your tools in tip-top shape, you also have to drink blue Powerade to keep them from permanently breaking. On top of that, there's your normal health potions as well, to keep you from permanently breaking. The dance of combat becomes this murder fest of gore as you kick to stun and slash to damage while keeping an eye on your durability levels. It's really, really fun. And you all know at this point how much of an art nerd I am, and this game tickles with its incredibly unique gothic styling. It really does feel like stepping into the pages of a Hellboy-esque world with the flavors of Dead Souls to match, specifically the Hellboy comics, not the movies. It's a damned feast to just explore through this game's worlds. And my god, it can be terrifying. Having a demonic figure leap out from the corner can shock the shit out of you. But in this game, they should honestly be more afraid of you. As well as the graphics being beautifully gothic, the music manages to only enhance the visual world building of the game, bringing it to the auditory world as well. Its haunting melodies and blood-pumping stings lead to a goddamned immersive experience. It's rare for a roguelite to really pull me into its world like this, which I truly think is Mortal Sin's greatest strength. On top of all of that, the game feels incredibly well balanced. Most of the time I died, it felt like an, yep, my time had come, instead of a, how in the hells did I lose that? God, I'm bringing the voices back, that's horrifying. Although there were a couple moments where my excellent run was cut short by a one-shot to the back of the head, God knows why, but I didn't experience this all that often, thankfully, but It does happen from time to time. I don't know if it's a bug or not, so just so you're aware. And avoiding that feeling of how in the hells did I lose that as much as possible is an incredibly important factor in making a good roguelite/like, and leads to making playing this game an incredibly rewarding experience, in my humble opinion, of course. I will say that I haven't completed the entire game yet, and I did see some comments pertaining to how Path of Torment 20 is incredibly difficult, so I could perhaps be in for an ass kicking down the road. I suppose we'll see. Now, one final smaller complaint I have for this game is its environments. While they look great, the 3 areas are split into 9 zones, and after a while they can look a little samey, the forest especially. Despite the incredible variety in weaponry and class builds, it definitely fumbles on its locations for the bloodbaths. Since its procedural generation is without any significant landmarks to shake things up, you can begin to feel a bit tired with the repeating hallways. Although you are zipping through these areas so quickly, it doesn't really affect my personal enjoyment, but it is something worth noting. There is also a story within the game, technically, but for all extents and purposes, it's told through the visuals more than anything else. You don't really experience much in terms of cutscenes or even in the text you can read. It definitely feels like the plot was an afterthought, but that isn't really all that surprising for a roguelite, since they tend to be gameplay first, story second, so that's less of a complaint, and more of a just so you know type thing. Other than that, this game is a damned blast, and for $20, it's a damned steal. In short, Mortal Sin is an incredibly unique game visually, and a well-crafted roguelite on the inside. Go play Mortal Sin if you feel like being an immortal badass. Also, just wanted to quickly apologize for the lack of uploads. Life has been life. You know how it is. Anyhow, thank you so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to pop that like button, and if you'd like to see more content like this, give that subscribe button some love. But most importantly, have a goddamn wonderful day, and don't die.